Hi, I want to share my new class with you, HCT-DIA, the pelvic floor and sacred diaphragms. And I'd like to also share how I was inspired to do this class and to bring it forth. I met a woman who introduced me to the perineum as a center of deep wisdom. And for me, the perineum was something I had never connected to. It was off my radar. So I went into a session with her, and I found it uncomfortable, I found it difficult, and I felt so much uncertainty that I could even access the perineum. And afterwards, I was exhausted and I slept for 3 hours. The next morning in my meditations, I wanted to understand why it was so hard. And when I went into the perineum, my pelvic floor, I saw this black barrier. And when I gave this resistance or barrier eyes, what I saw were very threatening eyes. And these eyes were looking at me, and they came along with a finger and they said, "Do not go there. Do not ever go there." And I was so surprised, and I thought, oh my gosh, there's hidden treasure here. And because I could see this resistance, I knew that I could move through that and begin my journey into the shame and the guilt that I discovered in the pelvic floor. And as I was able to begin to clear it, I was understanding how so many of us have hidden these deep, deep feelings of guilt and shame. And when you actually listen to the messages that are given to our bodies, we hear, "I will never accept you. You are bad. You are dirty. You are not okay. You are blocking my holiness. I cannot feel. I must numb you." And these messages that are held in our pelvic floor actually shut us down and numb our bodies so that we don't have real true access to the pelvic floor. And once I had done enough work that I was opening to the pelvic floor, I could feel that the orifices, that they started to begin to activate, that I realized that there was so much sensation and feeling that I had numbed. And as I accessed that, I could see that through the urogenital, that there was a flow, a potential flow, to move through my body up into my throat, into my brain. Through the vagina, there was energy that moves right to the heart. And through the anus, I could see that there's an energy that wants to move up the spine. And when we start to activate the sensation that we can actually move through, but there's so much resistance. I do not hear people talking about the Kundalini, which I believe is a natural experience of our bodies. So what has happened is that we have shut down our bodies and that we have prevented and stopped our bodies from experiencing joy, pleasure, and sensation. And therefore the body becomes depressed, sad, feeling rejected, and then you have a whole platform of pelvic floor issues that are not just about women, that this is shared by both men and women. So in clearing that, when we start to understand that the gift, and also beyond clearing this, the gift is that we get to access a sacred circuitry and awakening of our bodies. And for me, there was a great gift because I found that when I was comfortable and in my pelvic floor, in my pelvis, that there was an opening to the earth, that I was able to access and draw in the energy and the wisdom of the earth. My perineum has been becoming more full. And in this circuitry, I realize that I am no longer so compartmentalized, that in this connection, there's a unity and a connection through our brain, our heart and our pelvic floor, perineum. So in this, I have found that there's an opening of our vision, that we can become more holistic in our vision. And in that, we also, in our class, we work with the diaphragms, and I find particularly important is the respiratory diaphragm. So this class, for me, I had to move ahead and teach it. I feel it's so important to address these issues that we have been unable to speak about, no less address. So if this touches your heart, please come. And if you find you are feeling resistance, know there's hidden treasure right there. Thank you.